welcome to The Knitting Game and Other Stuff. I'm Leslie, your host, and this is episode 25 for July 25th, 2012. Hi and welcome this week. I want to say hello to all of my new viewers and welcome back to those of you who have watched the show before. Hopefully you're still enjoying it as much as you did on day one. So getting started, if you want to see how to contact me online, the show notes, how to vote for the projects, yarn, and various other things, go to myordinaryjourney.com. That's my blog right there, myordinaryjourney.com, and you can find everything, more than probably you'll ever want to know. So, getting that done, I want to say hello and give a special shout out to a new Ravelry board group member, and that is Knitting Lady 54, and that's Gwen. So Gwen, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy the show. And then we have two birthdays, and I don't know how I did this, but we have two birthdays. And they were yesterday, so somehow I got the dates screwed up, I think. So these ladies had their birthdays yesterday, and I don't have any birthdays scheduled for this week, I think. So my birthdays today are AKA Millie, that's Emily, and Wenmig, that's Wendy. Happy belated birthday to you guys. So, moving right along, and I am going to warn you, this is going to be a very quick show, I think, this week. And I don't mean to talk fast. I'd like to slow down just a little bit. But anyways, the blog, vlog, video, podcast, whatever you want to call them this week, that I would like to give a shout out to and highlight is actually the blog from one of my local yarn shops. We have 3 now in Fredericksburg. We had none. Now we have 3, which is amazing, and it's great. So my local yarn shop that I really enjoy going to is Doghouse Yarns and More, and they are located in Culpeper, Virginia. And not only do they sell yarn and patterns and have classes, but they also sell fiber. So they're the only group, local yarn shop in the area that sells the fiber. Although I haven't been to one of the yarn shops in a while, so I don't want to misspeak, but I know that Doghouse has fiber, which is great. So if you're local here in the Fredericksburg area, Culpeper, Virginia, it's a really quick drive. It's about an hour. It's not too bad though, and it's beautiful. It's at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains out near Shenandoah National Park. So it really is a nice day, and Culpeper is the cutest little town. Very main street, very cute. So Doghouse Yarns and More, their blog, it's really neat. One of the instructors there and designers, she puts up tips and very well written instructions and why you do things the way you do. And I just happened upon it this morning. I don't know why. I never knew it was there. It was the strangest thing. And all of a sudden there are these instructions for knitting lace on the blog. I never knew they had one. I always go to the shop page to figure out when classes are, and I know there's an upcoming spinning retreat, so that's actually what I was looking for, is the information for our September spinning retreat. And I saw a blog and I was thinking, that might be something to check out, and I'm really glad I did. So I added that to my Google Reader. So I obsess about my Google Reader and making sure my read count is 0. I read everything. I must have 45 different podcasts and probably that many blogs, and then I'm a tech person, so I read all the tech blogs, and I have an Android cell phone and tablet, so I read all the Android blogs. So I also sew and hike, so I have outdoor running and sewing blogs as well. So, and I read those every day. It's a lot of reading. So, but it's fun. It keeps me busy and up to date on what I need to know. So that's Doghouse Yarns and More, their blog, really great. Check it out. It is in the show notes and linked for you guys. The question of the week. I wasn't going to have a question this week, and on the way home, it always does this like this. It dawned on me. So my question this week, are you a picker? Are you a flicker? Or are you a thrower? And if you're a knitter, you probably know what that means. If not, I'm sorry, I'm not going to explain it. So, picker, knitter, or thrower? I will tell you, I throw. Just saying. All right. And I do have a very, very special thank you and shout out to give. And that's to Leslie of the Knit Girls. So, rewinding a couple of months, before Maryland Sheep and Wool in May, so this is the end of July, so back in April, I entered one of the contest threads on the Knit Girls Ravelry board, and it was to submit a picture of what inspires you. And they were in the middle of their anniversary giveaways and getting ready for all of the festivals coming up, and I was drawn as one of the winners, and what I won was a pattern. And I mentioned to Leslie there at Maryland Sheep and Wool, because I was able to run into them, that I won, and it had been a couple of weeks, and I just reminded her, and she's like, that's great, remind me when I get home. I'm like, not a problem. So I forgot by the time they got back from travel, and then I went on my vacation, and they were gone again, and through all of that, today, Leslie was finally able to get to do the pattern gifting, and I understand that, man, those ladies have been busy this summer, and for them to remember little old me and just gift me a pattern, that, with all that's been going on in our lives recently, it really made my day. Even though I won it, it was nice to think that somebody had thought of me that day. So thank you. And I want to say thank you to all my plurk buddies out there. You know who you are. I really appreciate all the plurky love that I've been getting, and I've been venting, so thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. All right, now that that's done, we can move on to the knitting game. Now, this is a special go-round of the knitting game. Usually, I have you guys vote on patterns, and you guys pick which pattern you want to see me knit. Well, this go around, it's been a little bit different. We are choosing the yarn that I'm going to knit with, and I'm going to knit a pattern that you guys picked. So the pattern is the Petalette shawl out of the Sock Yarn One Skein Wonders. So here's the book that the pattern is from, and here is the picture of the pattern of the finished shawl. So we've been going on, this is the 4th round, so this is the end, this is the 4th and final round of the Pick Your Yarn knitting game, which I'm so excited because this was such a neat idea that I had. Not only did it buy me some time with my other projects and things that I have to do, but I think this is really fun. So not only do you guys get to pick the pattern, but you guys get to pick the yarn. And the 4th round was amazing. And let me tell you, it came down to one vote. And I actually checked to see how many people had voted and to make sure it was an odd number. If it was an even number, then I would have voted and been the tiebreaker, potentially. Or if it was an odd number, I wasn't going to vote. So I didn't even vote for this go around. That's how close it was. I didn't want to screw it up because it had been an odd number of votes. So let's backtrack. The contestants for this 4th and final round were a Tree Hugger's Wife in the Neptune colorway. And this was purchased in Juneau, Alaska while I was on vacation. And this has been the champion throughout the whole Pick Your Yarn knitting game. So it is absolutely gorgeous. So very fitting. You guys really, really loved this yarn, I gotta tell you. So it was going head to head up against, and it's not one yarn, but a set. It was two I picked. It was my hand spun Wool Gatherings in what I call the Summer Orchid colorway. It is 306 yards, and the pattern actually calls for, let me see, I should have done this ahead of time. I apologize. I know I always say I should never apologize for what I say or do on my podcast, but I know that your time is extremely valuable, and the last thing you guys want to see me do is tinker around with a book trying to find out what the yardage calls for. Okay, so it calls for approximately 355 yards of yarn. So obviously at 306, I'm 50 yards short of this. So what did I do to make up the difference? I paired it with a Louisa Harding's Grace hand dyed, which is a 50-50 wool and silk blend, just like my hand spun. And if you can see, the colors are so very complementary. So my plan is to knit the border in the pink and knit the body of the shawl in the multicolored hand spun. So without further delay, I am going to announce that the winner of the first ever Pick Your Yarn knitting game is the combo. Oh my gosh, it was so down to the wire. It is the hand spun paired with the Louisa Harding. I am just tickled. I mean, I'm ecstatic. Let me tell you, I'm sad that I didn't get to say that this was the winner, the Tree Hugger's Wife, because it had won 3 rounds so far, and oh, it was so close. One vote, 13 to 12. Not a lot of people voted, but every vote counts. Unlike a national election, on my knitting game, every vote counts. So whoever you were that cast that last vote, here's your winner. Here we go. So I'm so excited. Even though I have several other projects on the needles, I might actually cast this on quick, like in a hurry. I think it's a small enough project that I can knock it out. It's just knitting and purling yarn overs and decreases. It's not cable work. It's not a huge long sweater. So I'm so excited. I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, yes, yay. Because, you know, I would have picked it too. All right, so that is the end of our Pick Your Yarn knitting game. So next week I will have either new patterns or I don't know what I'll have. I don't know if I'll have new patterns, if I'll have you guys vote on which book I use. I might do that. Pick the book. I need to catch up on things. I've got some projects that I have to, it's taken me forever because my schedule is really wonky right now, so it's really crazy. And I only get to knit in the car, and that's only about 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on traffic. So, sorry. I'll have something new for you guys to vote on next week, so it'll be a new adventure for everyone. Let's see. So, yet again, as an update for the other knitting game projects that I currently have on the needles, I have not yet finished anything. Nothing. I have no finished objects this week. I have no progress to report on my knit sock love, the stalagmite socks that I've been knitting forever. It seems for a pair of socks, they are taking forever. And I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is it takes a lot of cable work. And knitting in the car, doing cables, that's a little difficult. And I'm forever dropping stitches, and it drives my husband nuts because I'll freak out if I drop a stitch. And he'll be like, what's wrong? And he'll swerve the car, and it'll be horrible. So, no love for the stalagmite socks. However, I have been going to town on the Sayuri sweater here. And as you can see, I'm going to finish up the row and fill up some dead air. I'm almost done with the row. I was knitting in the car. And yeah, I think I was purling. That makes sense. It looks like that's, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going in the wrong direction. So I was almost done with the row. Traffic has been horrible around here lately. Friday, like I said, I knit in the car. So Friday we leave work. We leave work at a pretty reasonable hour. I go in very early so we can be done. And we were on the road probably right about 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And it took us 3 hours to get home. It took me over 3 hours. It was closer to 3.5 for me because I drop my husband off and I pick him up, and he's the one that drives home. So we carpool in together. So I have an extra half an hour drive each way after dropping him off in the morning. So yeah, 3 hours. So I had 3 hours of knitting time because traffic was unholy is what it was. Let me tell you something. People go down to Virginia Beach, and I-95 is like the only major corridor through. So you've got everybody coming from New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts. You guys know who you are. They drive down I-95 down to the Carolinas, down to Nags Head and Cape Hatteras, and you've got all the people from North and South Carolina driving through it. And it's just from Washington, D.C. down to about my exit, maybe one or two exits down on 95, down the Rappahannock. It is crazy busy. So 3 hours on Friday. Then Saturday, my husband and our kids and my mother-in-law, we go up to Washington, D.C., and we work very closely with a charity organization, the Totally Committed Community Outreach Center. And we had our 4th anniversary cookout feeding for the homeless and disadvantaged in Washington, D.C. And that lasted from 11 in the morning. It was supposed to go to 2. We ran out of food by noon, so by the time we'd packed everything up and got back on the road again, it was probably about 1 o'clock. Again, 3 hours to get home. So I had 6 hours of potential knitting time this weekend between Friday and Saturday, and all that works up to the fact that, boy, I made some progress. So here we go. Let me show you. I don't want to lose my stitches. So here we go. So from this stitch marker here, that's the beginning of the shaping. So there's 107 stitches at this point. To here, this blue round stitch marker here, that marks 10 increases. So that's 117, so I'm at 118, 119, and 120. I'm at 120. I have to do a total of 23 increases, and it's every 3rd row. So I've done 10. I have to do, there's 3, so I have to do 10 more increases, which is 30 more rows. But they go quick because I'm only doing half the sweater. So once those increases are done, I'm done with the left side, and then I cut my yarn, I break the yarn, and I cast on, and I do the same backwards shaping on the right side. Once that's done, I'll have the V, and by that time I hope I can kind of try it on for everybody. I have the V, and then I join it and I work in the round until I run out of yarn. I did attach my 4th ball of yarn, and I did this time right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to put my screen down. I don't know if you can see it. I can feel it, and you might be able to see on the ends there and there about where the little frayed edges are a little. So that is where I did a Russian join. So I did the thing where you make the loop and you do it down the center. Google it, YouTube it. There's plenty of videos available out there for explanation on how to do a Russian join. So I did a Russian join instead of a braided join. And because of the way this yarn is plied and spun, it's a little bit different. The plies are not very unique. It's like they took 3 plies and, oh, hold on, that's my phone. Be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that. I have a doctor's appointment on Friday, and they were just calling to confirm my date and time. Hence the lab work. All right. So anyway, I was talking about this. Oh, the joins. So I did a Russian join instead of the braided join that I did before. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can get the other front side out of the 1 ball of yarn that I just attached, because that's my 4th. And I only bought 9 skeins of yarn, which is what the pattern called for. So I'm kind of glad that I shortened the sleeves, because let me tell you, I'm a little worried it's going to be a short little baby doll savory sweater, and that's not what I want. Anyway, so that is all the knitting that I did. So I don't have any knitting to update you guys on, and since I closed the screen of my laptop, I have to log back in to figure out where I'm at. Alright, so no knit sock love updates. The sensual knits, that was that. So spinning. Alright, so on the bobbin right now, I am working on the most gorgeous, it is going to be either a light fingering or even a lace weight. I spun this stuff so thin. It is amazing. So what it is Into the World. It's their English Shetland, and it's in the KIMURO colorway. I can't say it. My lips don't move in that direction. But it's blues and purples and greens and oranges and the most amazing transitions. It is the prettiest thing. And what I did is I tried to split it down the middle, and I was going to fractal spin the second half of it, but I forgot to break it down again when I started spinning it. So yeah, I just started working in the same direction on both plies, and sometimes it matches up, sometimes it doesn't, so it's almost like a fractal spun yarn. Anyway, so the other thing I'm working on is some wool gatherings that I've had forever. I bought it at the same time I bought the Summer Orchid, and that's right when I first started spinning, so I guess January of this year. So I don't know, what, 6 or 7 months behind on my purchases. So this is a super fine merino, and I've split it into almost a pencil roving lengthwise. So as you can see, it's purples and pinks. And this one I was going to spin fractally, but I think I'm just going to try to get 2 ounces on one bobbin and 2 ounces on the other and just be done with it, because I split it wrong and the weight, it's just not coming out like I had wanted. But the roving itself is super duper squishy, and it's super duper fun to work with. So that is what I have on the bobbins right now that I am currently working. I wanted to have my Into the World finished before I recorded, and it is just so fine, and I am really taking my time plying it. I wanted to take my time plying it so I could do a super good job. But it is just, it's taking some time, but that's okay because it's going to make an amazing shawl. I'm hoping with the 2-ply, with as thin as I spun it, I'm hoping to have 500 yards. And in a perfect world, I'd have closer to 6, but I don't want to get greedy. But anyway, so what I have actually finished and plied, and I have in a hank now, is the alpaca silk blend. This is the natural gray alpaca silk that I picked up. It was from Gail's Art, and I bought it at Maryland Sheep and Wool. And unfortunately, I only had, it's a Navajo plied, so it's chain plied. It's a 3-ply, and it is close to an Aran or a heavy worsted weight, I think. I didn't actually do my wraps per inch, but I only got about 130 yards. And that makes me sad because I thought I would have more. But it is a beautiful yarn, and it's heavy. It's pretty dense. I haven't washed it or thwacked it or anything yet, so we'll see. It's fairly well balanced. Just a little bit of twist. Yeah, it's not too horribly bad. But, yeah. So that is my alpaca and silk, and I had wanted to pair this with my hobbledehoy ladybug bats, ladybug picnic little batlets that I spun up. So we'll see. I may have a project in mind for that, probably another shawl. So I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun spinning when I get home from work, and that's mainly what I've been doing. I haven't sewed at all this week since finishing my daughter's birthday dress. So it's been a lot of spinning and the knitting in the car. So that's all I have this week for stuff. I thought it was going to be a short episode, so I decided I was going to talk this week, and I talked a lot. The only other thing is the storm recovery. Today was storm recovery day. I keep forgetting to call the window company to actually order the window that needs to be replaced. And I remembered today, so I ordered the window. It takes 7 to 10 days to get in. Once it gets in, then they'll call me, and then we'll set up a time to have it actually installed. And not 5 minutes after I hung up the phone from talking to the window replacement company, the insurance company called, and they had my final figure for the estimate for the damage that was done. And less my deposit, I mean my deductible, I will be getting a little bit back. And that's good and that's bad, but at least I got something to help out with some of the repair finances, so that'll be good. So I have to get a contractor, a roofer guy, to figure out my roof situation. So some of the shingles got damaged. I don't think it's too bad. I think I need one package of shingles and somebody to put them on the roof. It's basically all the roof needs done to it. So God only knows how long that will take. So labor, I think, is going to be the major cost factor in that. So the window and the roof, that's all I have. And the window should be fixed in about 2 weeks, I'm hoping. So until next week, thank you everyone for voting. You made the Pick Your Yarn knitting game a lot of fun for me and a very exciting. I watched the end. It was not quite the Olympic experience, but I was definitely rooting for the yarn. So I would say don't forget to play the game, but there is no game this week, so stay tuned for next week, and I'll have something new for you guys to vote on. So thanks for joining me. Bye.